Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new podcast titled MES Podcast.
There it is.
That's the best intro.
Welcome back. Oh my
That's
god.
That's the tone of the show.
There we go. Joined by myself. It's the engine roomies, but we've reincarnated into something new. As you all knew, we were all Barcelona fans, and as many of you may have known, if you were following the engine room, it sort of fell away for other commitments we had. And we sort of had a get-together and all agreed that actually there's probably not an English-speaking Barcelona podcast that comes out weekly, that's free to listen to, that's a nice length on a Monday after match day, that gets all the fan base together and is able to unite people, that people can just listen to and hear all things Barcelona. We feel us three get along quite well. We do some good stuff. We chat well. We think the fans enjoy it. So we thought, let's put something together. So here we are.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly. You know what they want? They want Bulgar's phone collapsing.
Take your shirt off. They want Paulo to be topless.
We'll save that for the Patreon when we get that going.
Wait, they want who to be topless, John?
You.
I think Booga's calling for everybody. Topless episodes.
I think we should get started with that.
I don't want people to see my 3 chest hairs, if that's okay with you.
Bulgar, you have to explain what you're doing in a car.
There was this singing competition that my cousin was gonna. It was actually not my cousin. It's a friend, but I know that you always say, "Oh, a friend. Who's your friend?" And it's like,
yes,
no way,
yes, busted live on the pod.
No way, by the way, John. No way,
yes.
No way has he.
Yes.
No way has he lied about it off camera as well. By the way, he brings up that he's going to watch a woman sing and claims it's his cousin.
Yeah. I had my doubts. I was like, well, oh, maybe it's like, an 8-year-old cousin. He's just, going with the family, being supportive. No, turns out it's a baby girl. Let's hear it, Booga. What's her name? Tell us the backstory.
There's literally no backstory. I'm the worst with girls. So if I can tell you anything, in the next episode, she's going to disappear. And it's like, people in the comments are going to be like, oh my God, Booga, what a soulless, I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean.
No, Booga, number one, can't worry about the comments, okay? We're all roomies here. You're in the trust tree. This is a safe place. It's just us. Nobody, we're good. Yeah. You can tell us. What's her name? What's her name? Give her a little shout out. She's probably listening.
She is listening. I heard she is.
Yeah, but she's not like that what you think. She's not a friend of the pod. She won't be a friend of the pod because I won't allow it. I won't allow.
She's the first friend of the new pod.
First friend of the new pod. I heard first follower. By the way, folks, just real quick, at MES Pod on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, at MES Pod.
MES Pod or MES un pod?
MES Pod.
Nope.
Okay.
MES Pod.
Pod.
Short and sweet.
No. That's a good point, John. Obviously, they're going to see it on Spotify and YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, follow us on our socials because then you'll be able to keep up with things. But I think this is something that can unite a lot of the fan base. Actually, to be fair, like I've seen people tweet about this before, and even I put out a tweet on Sunday night about this sort of thing, and a lot of people got around it. So I'm going to start firing out the messages to a lot of these Barca fans on social media. I think we should all do the same. I think people can get involved and enjoy this. We're hearing about Bulgar's Peruvian women, so What's not to
like? But let's start talking about Barca, dude. Let's talk about Barca.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, all right. Let's get into it. So we're coming hot off of this Athletic Club match. Marc Guiu. Everybody saw this coming, right?
How do you pronounce the name?
Predictions pre-match.
Is Guiu or Guiu?
Guiu.
Back of the throat. Guiu.
Yeah, Catalan. That.
Marc Guiu. Yeah, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Comes off the bench, runs in behind. Joao Felix says, "Here, young one, you know what to do with this." Marc Guiu says, "Yes, I do." Set it and forget it. Back of the net. Absolutely amazing. Booga is getting interrupted by this live pod. This is what happens when you pod in public, Booga. This is exactly what happens.
And when you're
famous. We were doing
How famous.
Live recording to the public audience.
Goodness me.
Do you see that there's the friend? I don't know. I think I put it in your phone, but she didn't appear.
Jesus
Amazing.
Christ.
Amazing.
Releasing her to the Barca fan base.
Yeah.
So Pablo, what's your
there
your reaction?
You see there she walked there.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Okay,
Booga's trying to.
What are you doing?
He doesn't want to talk about it, but he wants us to see her and then not talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, who's that? No. Shush.
Yeah. Oh, who could this be? Oh, look at that.
Anyway, I mean, look. To be fair, I think we did our job tonight. Obviously, on a Sunday night. Obviously, we came into it with a lot of absences, so I think everyone knew, especially against Athletic, who are a good team anyway, it was going to be a tough game. We've already had a lot of frustrating draws this season in La Liga. In my opinion, undeserved ones as well. Mallorca was frustrating. Granada very frustrating. Even Getafe on match week 1 really frustrating. So. And tonight looked like it could have been another one of those games. So many players missing. Players who win games for us, like Rafinha, like Lewandowski, even Lamine Yamal not there from the start. And no Koundé, who maybe has been Barcelona's best player this season. Frenkie de Jong's another option who's maybe been our best too. So you're looking at an awful lot of injuries, which I don't think has been that big of a problem actually under Xavi, but it definitely has been in the last few weeks or so. We've just lost everyone.
Is Roberto injured?
Yeah, that's another one I just don't...
Yeah, dude, who gets injured on an international break
when you're not
with the
when you're not called up?
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Like, yeah, dude, I don't understand.
But the other day, I know we want to talk about the game. I know we want to talk about exactly this game, but I read something on Twitter, and now that I said Roberto, I just wanted to bring it up, like ever since we had this idea. And do you think Sergio Roberto is a legend of Barcelona?
Yes.
I consider him a legend.
Simply for La
Remontada.
Wow.
Yeah, just for the PSG match.
Pablo. I think Pablo is not on the same boat as us.
That's more like cult hero status, isn't it?
Yeah, but think about his willingness to play out of position for literally his entire career.
Yeah, it's literally like you're not good enough to play your position. Play that,
I can't believe.
Here's the thing. I believe in my heart, if we would have had a proper right back post Dani Alves, I don't think Sergio Roberto would have been asked to ever slide out to the right back position. I think he would have played as a 4th, 5th, sometimes 6th midfielder.
Yep.
But he would have played in the midfield, and he would have had, I think. He would have not had the same criticism that he's received by playing at a right back position.
But maybe he would have been sold on if he was only playing in midfield.
Sure. You look at a Carlos Alenia. You look at any one of those midfielders.
But I think he's better than them. Like I think that's better. He's better than like an Alenia. He was better than most of the other players. Like I actually think he's like a decent footballer, but sometimes a decent footballer is like all you need in your squad, like it's better having a decent footballer than a kid who is not good enough or just some 30-year-old who sucks. And I think like Sergio Roberto is like, I don't think he sucks like everybody says. I think he's just decent, like he can put like a 5 out of 10 performance every game, and I'm okay with that. It means he plays like twice every 4 months,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to the expectations. Like, sure, a 5 out of 10 performance, but I think playing for Barcelona, I don't think the fan base is going to stand for that.
No. How have we got onto a Sergio Roberto debate when he's injured 7 minutes into the first episode?
Because he's a goat. He's the goat.
A legend,
he's the goat of Barcelona.
Yeah.
I had a friend who used to use like a fake profile on Tinder, and he used to put photos of Sergio Roberto.
That's amazing. 2, it's okay if it was you, Booga. You can tell us.
I'm more of a Bumble kind of guy than a Tinder.
Wow.
I got a question. What are y'all feeling about Lamine Yamal right now? Are you all really hot on Lamine? Are we excited about him? What are we feeling? What are our expectations right now?
Look, whenever a young kid comes into the fold, I always am a little bit skeptical. Like it took me, I think, until the game for what do you call it? The game against Real Madrid in the Supercopa when I saw Gavi play, and I was like, okay, you're no longer like a wonder kid to me. You're like, okay, now I can see how all of you see you kid you can be like the best in your position in the world for the next generation. You know, that's what I've been hearing these things about Lamine, and I know he probably is that sort of player. But I always like to see that game, that performance when he goes like, bang, he's amazing. Because anyone, I don't want to say anyone, you know, but I couldn't. But like a lot of players can come in, score a goal, and be like, amazing, you know, he's gonna be the best thing in the world, like Havertz, for instance, in the final of Champions League, even though he was already a consolidated player because he had those seasons behind him. But I think, yeah, but I think that you need to have that a game where it's like it consolidates you, it shows your not only your technical ability but your mental strength to continue yourself and keep yourself in the game the full 90 minutes. And I think that is something that develops with age. Like right now, he's 16 years of age. He's an amazing talent, an amazing player. But I think that this is gonna be a hot take, for instance. And the first twisted take of this podcast.
Get out of here.
I was gonna say
we have to come up with a new name for it.
Yeah, we need to come up with a new name.
Like the crazy Kool-Aids.
I don't know, something like that. But I was gonna say, like, I think that you need to be an amazing footballer. You need to at least have the quality in some sense of any spectrum of a person. You need to be also like to be a good footballer, you need to be a good person, or like you need to be somehow in any factor of a good person. You know, someone who's very resilient.
Tell that to Ryan Giggs.
Where are you going with it?
Yeah, I'm going to push back on that one.
That's what I think.
Philosophical.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think like you need to be able to, not a good person in the sense of like, oh, you are the right, you know, you're a good human being. I mean, like you are good mentally. Like you're good in some sort of in your mental spectrum. You have one of those traits that is like, okay, I'm very resilient. I'm someone who wants more. I'm someone who's ambitious. Something like that. Like you cannot just go by being.
I'll give you resilience.
Like there is what I'm saying is like, for instance, take an example like Hazard, who just retired. Like I think Hazard, he was an amazing player, amazing talent, but I don't think he ever had that thing of like, you know what, I know what I'll do in my life. Some sort of people just like, you know, having fun, and having fun is good. It's not bad. But to be a top footballer, I do not think you can just be going around your life saying, I want to have fun, if you know what I mean. Is that a better way to explain?
Sure. I mean, think about Ronaldinho after the 2006 Champions League final. From that point on, you never saw peak Ronaldinho ever again.
Yeah.
He was exactly. Like, dude, got Champions League final, got to the top of the world. Give me one more big contract and I'm good. It happens.
So that's my answer to Lamine Yamal. That's my answer for Jamil Lamine, because I think he's incredible. He can turn games around.
Pablo, you didn't even give your
at his age.
He was ranting about how you got to be an angel to be a good footballer. Pablo, what do you think about Lamine Yamal?
To be fair, I know people always say, and I think it is kind of true. You know, when you need to sort of like embed in a young player at 16 and not give him too much importance from the start, because I think already we're seeing how like he can be a bit raw in a way. Like he is, for me, I think he's one of the best talents in the world, but there's certain things when he does and you see that he is 16, like just losing the ball in silly areas in attack or like wrong decisions. Today he's got a simple finish. I think when Joao Felix lays him off and he drags it wide of the post, you know, his finishing doesn't look up to scratch yet, considering he actually scored so many goals at youth level at an outrageous rate. So there's definitely things he needs to scratch up on, but I think and I hope, and if we get players back from injury, he'll be in a good environment to not be forced to play too much football, which can be bad. And it also can be tempting when they play so well. Like when we saw with Ansu Fati, it's like, well, we haven't got anyone else. Why wouldn't we play Ansu? We know if he's playing that well. So when Rafinha's there, for me, Rafinha's still the first choice right winger, by the way. Like, if they're both fit in a Champions League final, I'd start Rafinha over Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, me too. Exactly.
I don't think many Barca fans would, though, by the way, but I would.
I would as well, because it's like, it's too much, like you said, too much of a bargain, you know, too much of Lamine needs to have those 20 minutes where he's free of pressure and can just play and, let's say, maybe Champions League final, your example, score a goal. That's the sort of thing you need to do at that age, because you need experience. Like I was saying, you need experience off the field more to understand how to do that, you know, and it either takes you like amazing talent, like an Mbappe, that he was a kid and he was already like one of the best in the world, or you need to be, you know, more prepared mentally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think if everybody's healthy, I would like to see Lamine really only be used, like you said, 20, 30 minutes, but not even in big matches. Like he's had plenty of exposure at this point. I would really rein that back in and try to put some kid gloves back on him. You know what I mean? Like let him come in for the matches where we're playing bottom half of the table, maybe give him Copa del Rey. That'll definitely give him some experience. But I made a note that he looked 16 in this match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he looked a bit overwhelmed by the situation and didn't look sharp. And I think those kind of experiences are going to have a negative impact in terms of his confidence. I don't think, that this is a step forward for him in these kind of matches.
Yeah. I'll tell you who does look good. Sorry, go on.
No, go, Pablo. I wanted to change topic, but I think you want to stick with it.
No, I'm happy to change. I was just gonna go through a few of the other players as well. Fermin Lopez for me, I think, has made a big impact this season as well.
Yeah,
quite out of nowhere. Was he out on loan at Linares Deportivo last season? What a weird story. That sort of thing never happens at Barcelona. He always comes straight from La Masia to the first team.
Yeah, that's the sort of player who normally that sort of player never makes it. But they either jump like juvenil straight to the first team, but this time around it's like. Yeah. I like it. I like Fermin. He's also a player that for me was at the start. I was like, yeah, happy he scored in the Clásico, and he's showing good signs. But I think he matches the quality that he has with. I think he's very hardworking. He knows how to read the game. He knows, okay, I got to pass. He's not someone who wants to do like an extra touch. He just does the job. He does it good. And I think that's exactly what Xavi wants. And I think that Xavi, maybe Fermin Lopez is going to be the player who Xavi molds a little bit more. I think that's going to be his guinea pig, in a sense of trying to mold him and be just that sort of player for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a goal in him, which I like.
Yep. We desperately need that.
In that sense, he reminds me a little bit of Rakitic, just with the ability to score from outside of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, Barcelona for some reason just have a hard time finding midfielders with that kind of scoring power.
Yeah. We always find the same sort of midfielders.
We do. That's what I like about Fermin. He's almost like a second striker. I know he should. By the way, he should have scored tonight many times actually. So maybe we're chatting a bit out of our arse here in a way that he had good chances today. I think he should have scored a few of them. A few good saves from Unai. To be fair, I thought he had a very good game. Bulga, I'm not sure what you were going to switch on to, but would it be good to talk about the two Jows, by the way? I mean,
that's exactly where I think we can jump in. Because I was going to say, I wanted to bring to the table, right now at this stage of the game, what's your main 11? Because I know my main 11. I want to know what the main 11 for other people is, because I've seen many debates and discussions around player selection, whether we have to go to the back, to the backpack, Balde, Araujo, Christensen, Koundé, or maybe play a back five, go with wingers, I know a Joao, Felix on the left. So I want to know what's your opinion on that, because for me, I'm just gonna say it. For me, the two Joaos are 100% in the team starting.
Yeah. I think we're gonna disagree on this. So let me start here. My back line is Balde, Christensen, Araujo, and Cancelo. I got Koundé on the bench. I know everybody's hot on Koundé. Pay attention to the difference in how Araujo presses across the midfield line and consistently disrupts and wins the ball back versus Koundé, who is much more passive and will, I agree, inevitably make the tackle most of the time, but allows the attack to get much further up the pitch, which means less pressure when Barcelona win it back, and we have to get it that much further up the pitch. So the difference with Araujo pushing with that high press, for me, is what we've been missing.
Well, it's actually such a tough lineup to pick, isn't it, at the moment?
My lineup is actually with, I think, 5 at the back. That's what I think. I like, not 5 at the back, but 3 at the back, with Balde and Joao Cancelo having more of, offensive responsibilities. Sure. That's for me what I like, because it keeps, and then I have Pedri, De Jong, Gundogan, and then Joao, Felix, and Lewandowski. That's my team. Why do I say it? Because I think that, first of all, I think we can all agree in that Joao Cancelo is probably Joao Felix was probably the best thing to ever happen to Lewandowski in a sense, because he was playing so alone, Lewandowski at the top, and now he has someone to interchange, someone to kind of make a run for, someone who makes a run for Lewandowski and things like that. And for me, even though I would want to have like a right winger on the side, I think that defensively, even if you, I'm going to put a hot take. As much as, Araujo for me is one of my favorite players, I think if I had to choose a back four, I would take Koundé over Araujo, in my opinion, and keep Christensen. I think Christensen actually is that sort of player where I go like, I think Christensen honestly is the one who shouldn't be paying like shouldn't be, at fault. I think that it's either Koundé or Araujo for me. Christensen is just been, he's like 9 out of 10 every single fucking game. Like, how can you take him out?
Yeah. So many people overlook him, but Christensen is the man for me.
Yeah. They still do, don't they? I mean, this is a bit of a twist to take. It sounds like you guys agree. I don't like Koundé and Araujo playing next to each other at centre-back. I wouldn't line up with those two at the back. I agree. I just don't think it works. I think they're too similar. They both love that right centre-back spot. And they just, I don't like it. I do get your point on Araujo, John. Like, I would from this season so far, but probably because he's been injured so much, I would go for Koundé and Christensen with Cancelo at right back and Balde left back, obviously. But you make a good point on Araujo. Every time he plays, how confident do you feel with Araujo defending, by the way? Like, I haven't felt that confident with a defender since like prime Rudiger at Chelsea in 2021. He gives me that sort of vibe where, when attacker gets him, you're not getting past him.
I've called him the Uruguayan Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah. He's like Van Dijk in 2018.
That kind of confidence.
Yeah, Araujo. I think for me, Araujo is that sort of player where I would, if I was manager, and it would be like El Clásico, Araujo. Oh yeah, Ronald, go right back. Just play the game of your life and Mark Vinicius. Like, I don't think Araujo needs much of like consistent games. He doesn't need, for me, match sharpness. He doesn't have to be at 100% sharpness to be amazing. I think that he can slot in and right away give you the best game. Because actually, I think when he's rested, the next game afterwards, that's the best one he can use, because he has it he knows what to do. He's actually like an individualistic defender. Because he's mostly like, he sees a run and he's like, I'm going to take care of this. And he's not a defender of like, if there's a Neymar for defenders, I would put sort of like a Araujo, because he's a player like, I don't care what he's doing in the game. I just care that he defends. Like, that's the sort of player that I see in him. He just has one role and he's going to do it. So for me, Araujo would be like the player I say for the top games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, go on, John.
Go ahead, Pablo.
No, I was going to say further forward as well. It's so difficult as well. Like, I don't want to bench Gavi.
Are you liking Gundogan in the team?
That is another one where I could have a twisted take.
Because I think actually Gavi, Pedri, De Jong is still the best midfield we have. Like I actually Romeo. I like what Romeo is doing. For instance, when he plays as a 5. But the game against not Girona, the one before, was it Girona where we drew 2-2, or that was Almeria? No, that was
that was neither.
Who did we draw 2-2? Who was it before the
no
Granada? We drew 2-2 against Granada. So the game before that, where was it? Which game was it? I have no idea what it was. But that game for me, Porto again. Yeah, you're right. Porto away. I remember seeing Romeo like a bit like you're good, like you can defend, but I don't think he's the answer for like the best 11 we can have. I don't feel he is as good as distributing the ball as Busquets. I think he's stocky, he's good defensively, he's rough, he can be able to win the ball back, but he's just not good enough with the ball at his feet. And I would rather take all the advantages Frankie gives you rather than having Romeo in the team. So my hot take with Pablo, I guess, then is, for me, my midfield is Pedri, De Jong, Gavi, actually, and not Gundogan.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, John? I think you're a little bit, I don't know, reluctant.
Well, just my thought on Romeo is that he is a very different player when he's playing alongside Frankie De Jong.
Yeah.
To your point about Araujo just defend, when Romeu has Frankie on one side and Pedri or Gavi or Gundogan on the other, then Romeu only has to defend. He just has to get the ball and distribute. He doesn't really have to carry the weight of being the pivot.
You're right.
Right now, you're seeing him have to do a bit more, and it's really stretching him, I think, beyond his means. So you're seeing some holes there, and I think Xavi's getting pretty frustrated.
Yeah.
So the quicker that we can get Romeu back with a Frankie and anybody else, the better. But of course, I think Frankie would make a lot of midfielders look
better,
better than what they are. But what I'll say is Frankie allows Romeu to focus on what he's best at and what he can bring for Barcelona. But with that said, my best midfield three is still Frankie, Pedri, Gavi. But if you gave me Gundogan over Gavi, I wouldn't be too upset about it.
No, what do you mean? For me, I don't agree. Gavi right now this season, he for me has he's just been the man. He's so good. That's like I was saying at the start. It took me until that game with Supercopa, and then it has taken me, I think, this season to be like, you're undisputed. You're a starter. He's a starter. For me now, when I think of Barcelona, and I think how you think of certain teams and you look at faces of the squad. For instance, I think of Real Madrid now. I think of Vinicius. I think of Bellingham. When I think of United, I think of Bruno Fernandes, that sort of player. I think right now of Barcelona, and the main person that comes to my mind above every other person right now is Gavi. For me, I feel Gavi is synonymous with Barcelona, and for me, he's just the starter. Pedri coming back, I know for me it's Pedri over Gundogan every day, and Frank de Jong is also outstanding. So I'll keep those three, honestly.
Yeah, I like what you said. Gavi is, for me, I think Luis de la Fuente as well. He said he's the pride of the national team, which I'm sure a lot of Spanish and Real Madrid fans wouldn't like, but I agree with it. I think he's used the word that he instills pride, and I completely agree with that. I think when you got Gavi on the pitch, he adds something different. It's when you don't have him, you're missing something, and he has stepped up massively again this season. I think he's quality. I think he's been brilliant. But I know this is not.
Sorry, continue. No, I was going to say something really stupid. A typical Buga comment. That makes no sense. That has zero analysis, but I was just going to say it.
Well, listen, boys, I know we've got to wrap this one up here soon, I think. I don't know where we're at on time, Pablo, if you've been keeping track.
We're on
28 minutes.
Yeah. We're on 28 minutes.
Okay, so as we wrap up, for the listeners, for the old roomies, let us know what you want the new name to be. It's open because we are now Más que un Podcast. Again, at Más que Pod on all the platforms. We'll be talking all things Barcelona plus all things silly going on in our lives. Any final thoughts, boys, as we wrap this one up? We got El Clasico coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the final thought, isn't it? Also, just a quick thing on the Joaos. I was going to say, I just think both of them have been outstanding. Questions about Joao Cancelo's attitude, but he for me, is one of the top 5 fullbacks in the world.
He feels the badge. I look at him when he plays, and he passes the eye test in that sense.
He is quality.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of both Joaos. Here's my question, and I think this is something that I'll ask you all throughout the season.
Yeah.
Is Joao Felix worth 80 million euros? Today, is he worth it?
Today, right now? For me, no.
Right now.
Oh.
I think he has to keep the form, because at the start of the season he was like, "Ay, papi, Felix, vamos, but now I want to I think he's dropped a little bit, because he doesn't have the silk touch. He doesn't have the hand of Midas. Before every hit touch was a goal.
If he was finishing the chances that he's putting off the woodwork right now, I'd be like, yeah.
He got another assist today. He got another assist today. So he's consistently doing good, which is fine. Great. But for 80 million, it's at the end of the season, he needs to have 15 goals and 20 assists or something crazy like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Or 15-15. 15-15.
With our financial situation, obviously 80 million is absurd. You almost want to spend that on the guy like Real Madrid spent on Bellingham, right? But And as someone, by the way, who I think openly said on the engine room before that I wasn't much of a fan of Joao Felix, he shut me right up, by the way, because his attitude, his quality on the pitch has been second to none. Today reminded me, those games where Messi or Suarez were injured and Neymar ran the team? Joao Felix did that today. Yep. He ran that attack, and we had so many players out, young guys around him, Guiu or Fermin, even like Gabi, you can't call young, but like anymore already, because despite his age, he's so mature and embedded in the team. But Felix, for me, he's the heart and soul of Barcelona's attack. He's driving everything forward. He's taking the game on the scruff of the neck, making things happen. Match-winning assist today. When he gets the ball, you think something's going to happen. It just reminded me of that 2017 Neymar. I'm not going to lie. I was like, yeah, we've got like a proper player here. And I was not expecting that at all. He's scoring goals. He's getting assists. He's making things happen. 80 million at our current state, I don't think we can do for anyone. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know if they have to find another solution. But for me, he has been formidable. I have to take my hat off because, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I really am. And I said that at the time. I said, if he can rediscover his form, brilliant. But I've got concerns about this, and that. But he's just wiped all of them off. I think he's been immaculate. And Joao Cancelo, I already knew was class because he, for me, is... Oh, God, he might be the best right back in the world, actually. In fact, I think he is. Unbelievable.
Yeah, best right back, I agree. Best right back in the world right now, he is.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
Like,
all right.
Who else would it be?
If you disagree or agree,
it would be.
Let us know down in the comments. We want to hear from folks.
Kyle Walker.
If it's not Joao Cancelo, who is it?
Kyle Walker.
We want real answers.
Nah. Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker can suck
We're
my
here
dick,
every
bro.
week, folks.
Okay.
Yeah. There it is. You heard it from Luda.
It's weird. It's weird. Just quickly before we end. Obviously, the next time we chat will be after Shakhtar and after the Clásico. Like, it feels like we haven't even spoken about that, like how we're feeling about playing Real Madrid and whatnot. But
I just blew past Champions League.
It's just a classic.
We'll have a lot to catch up on. Yeah. All right, gents. The start of something new. Mas Guiu podcast. We'll catch y'all next time.
See you.
Peace.
Bye.